ha, ha, ha. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into College Football Saturday, a.k.a. NFL Sunday. I'll be here to take all of your questions and answers. I'm probably going to shave the beard. Hope to lose probably about 20 pounds in the next 2 weeks. That's my goal. I doubt it'll happen, but it's a good goal to have because losing weight makes you happier than gaining weight. Temporary cookies, temporary happiness, losing weight, happiness. But anyway, got the new soundboard, so excited to talk college football, maybe get a couple of viewers at this late hour. Even if it was daytime hours, probably would get a few viewers anyway. But again, thankful for everybody that is here in the chat and that's going to watch this video after. I really was excited for Michigan State. I really was excited for Michigan State, and I was excited for that Ohio State game, and that game ended up being a complete dud. Chris Olave, CJ Stroud, Ryan Day's offense is unbelievable. Brian Hartline, incredible wide receiver coach. I would hire anybody from that Ohio State staff, including Corey Dennis, who's the quarterback coach at Ohio State. He really is the future of coaching. Is the QB coach of Ohio State, Corey Dennis, who's just 30 years old. That just shows you how unproductive some people can be. Is that this guy is like a year older than me, and he's already changing the world. Is Corey Dennis and Ohio State? He's going to be a spectacular football coach someday. But Ohio State is a complete juggernaut. They're one of the greatest college offenses that this world has ever seen. I mean, you have Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. They might be taken in the top 15, both of these guys in the top 15. And then you have CJ Stroud that I think is going to be a future NFL MVP. I mean, CJ Stroud, he plays a little bit like Trevor Lawrence, a little bit like Andrew Luck, just how poised he is in the pocket, the throws that he makes, and Matt and Lalo, what's going on. It's just the throws that CJ Stroud makes. Him and Bryce Young are amazing. Bryce Young is like Aaron Rodgers, quickest release. Even though he's small, he sees the field really quickly. He creates explosive plays, feels the pocket. He's as good as advertised. And G-Man 409, thanks for popping in, my friend. Ohio State, their D-line too was amazing. Now, maybe it's just Michigan State secondary sucks. You know, even Purdue, even Cade McNamara had field days on Michigan State. But I think Ohio State's going to win this title. I mean, I don't see Stetson Bennett and Georgia's offense keeping up with Ohio State. Now, maybe Kirby Smart's defense shuts down Ohio State, but Kirby Smart has never faced the type of competition that Ohio State presents. And we're going to find out exactly how Alabama's going to look because they're going to go to the SEC championship and they're going to have to defend Jamison Williams, John Mechie, and Bryce Young in that secondary. And Bryce Young is maybe the second best quarterback in college football. I mean, Bryce Young has an even higher ceiling than Stroud. I would have taken both of them number one in the draft because I think that Young is like a more talented Zach Wilson, but CJ Stroud is the safest quarterback prospect that we've ever seen. He checks every box. He has the height, he has the personality, the demeanor, the accuracy, can win from the pocket, throws with touch. I mean, CJ Stroud, you won't find a better quarterback in college football than CJ Stroud. I mean, he's one of the best that I've ever seen playing college football. Now you do have Cam Newton, you do have Johnny Manziel, you have better scramblers of the ball. And you have some quarterbacks that are truly special in college, like Sam Bradford and Chase Daniel. But these guys are just unbelievable. And Michigan State, it was really disappointing because I like Mel Tucker a lot. I can't wait to see Mel make $10 million a year. He deserves every penny of it for he's transformed Michigan State. Mark D'Antonio left him no talent. The cupboard was totally bare at Michigan State. And what he's done this year, he deserves to be coach of the year. And Kenneth Walker at least deserves a spot in New York at that Heisman ceremony. I mean, it's been a phenomenal season. I think Peyton Thorne to me would be the first quarterback probably in this year's draft. I think Ohio State is probably going to win. I mean, Alabama, they're going to have to beat Georgia in the SEC championship, and Ohio State's defense is better than Alabama's defense. Alabama's really beat up. I don't think that Georgia's going to win this championship. So, I don't think Georgia's passing game is going to be good enough. You know, Ohio State can stop the run. Alabama can stop the run. Yeah, Arkansas at times this year, Matt, has put up unbelievable offense. I mean, they played great against Mississippi. You know, KJ Jefferson's a Mississippi kid. Traylon Burks is one of my favorite football players of all time. This guy killed like an elk deer. He killed a bear with his bare hands. He's from like rural Arkansas. He's just my type of guy. You know, he's country strong. And Traylon Burks is just one of my favorite players ever. And I can't wait to see him go to the league so people can get to meet the guy because he's just one of the more fun interviews ever. And the fact that he killed like, you know, a deer with his bare hands. I mean, the guy is, you know, on the field. He's an absolute beast and off the field too. So, you know, with Traylon Burks, with Kendall Briles calling plays, you can have your opinion about the Briles family, but they're unbelievable innovators of offense. I mean, the whole tree, Jeff Levy, Kendall, and of course, Art, the dad. It's unbelievable football, and they were able to really dice up Alabama. I mean, what Sam Pittman has done with this team, he's given them a competitive edge that they really need at Arkansas. And I love when the Razorbacks are good. And it's been a while, you know, since Bobby was there, and it's been a long time since the late 80s when Arkansas was really good. And I'm just really happy to see Arkansas kind of competing again. And then, of course, we had Auburn and South Carolina. And Jet Central, how you doing, man? You know, it's been kind of a long day, so sorry I didn't get back to you. It's so good to have Jet Central in the chat. You know, one of the more intelligent guys on the NFL and college football. And man, oh man, what a day for Shane Beamer in South Carolina. Seeing Shane get the Gatorade bath after the game. I mean, such a wholesome moment for South Carolina. Kansas, that was an unbelievable game. I knew that probably the luck would run out today in Fort Worth, but you know, the Kansas Jayhawks with Lance Leopold, I mean, they've been competitive. They were competitive at Oklahoma earlier in the year. They went to Coastal this year and played a really good three-quarter game. They're going to get the players that they need. And Lance is a guy who's won everywhere. He's kind of from that pipeline, like the Nate Oates pipeline up there in Wisconsin. He wins D3 titles. Then he goes to Buffalo. I think that I think Danny White hired him at Buffalo, and he's just freaking unbelievable. And, you know, Lance is a little bit older, but he's still a spectacular coach, and he really game plans well for each week. And Texas with Sarkisian, I mean, I had some concerns about Sark. You know, how can a guy run the program? He had opportunities at Washington. He did well at Washington. At USC, you know, USC happened. It was a huge job for Sark. He was a younger guy. And I think that a lot of people, you know, make mistakes and whatnot. And Sark has just come back with vengeance. He was great in Atlanta. Alabama, of course, he was spectacular. And you're seeing Alabama. You're seeing Lane Kiffin. You know, Lane Kiffin's now 10-2. He was great at FAU. So Alabama, it works. I mean, Butch Jones is back coaching. So, I mean, Sark, he's got to look at defensive coordinator. I thought he should have hired Will Muschamp maybe as defensive coordinator. And Sark's just, he doesn't have his guys, and Sark's really intense, and these guys are not buying in right now. And Sark, I mean, he's in a dark place in terms of his morale. He's not getting to these kids at all, but it's year one. The guy can scheme it up. The guy's going to put up good numbers. The guy's going to have a quarterback. It's just with Texas, their defense has been horrible for the past 12 or 15 years. And they need trenches. They need D linemen. They need to get physical up front if they're going to be a really good football team in the state of Texas. And can they recruit the defensive line? Because you look at Texas A&M, how come Mike Elko's defense is so much better than the defense that's at Texas? It doesn't make sense. I mean, you're recruiting the same people. You're both going to be in the same league. The resources in Austin are absurd. The D line is just terrible. I can't remember the last good defensive lineman that Texas had, honestly. But we could talk NFL. We could talk college football. I want to do this in over 15 minutes. It's good for my sanity to get all of this out there. I mean, today I watched Nebraska too. My man Scott Frost, Wood River, Nebraska. One of my favorite towns in America is Wood River, Nebraska. And what Scott is doing out there, Scott, Eric, Barrett Rude, I love that defense, man. You know, I love how those guys fight. You know, Austin Allen's a Nebraska kid. JoJo Doman was out today. Luke Hemrich. I love the black shirts, and I'll always love Nebraska and Scott Frost. And it's so frustrating to see Adrian Martinez time in and time out, you know, not be able to convert on touchdown drives. And with Scott, it's been really annoying how they haven't found a running back. And, man, is it tough. All right, Matt, I'm going to figure out what team you are a fan of. I know it's not the Kansas State Wildcats because you're saying you're playing Kansas next week. You're a West Virginia fan. Welcome to the chat, man. That's awesome. Great win today. Neil Brown really kind of turning it around. I hope that, I wonder if you guys are still starting Garrett Doji at quarterback, but I think you guys are going bowling, if I'm not mistaken, with Neil. You got one game to go bowling. You know, last couple of games, I'm looking at it, you guys. It's been an up and down season, but Neil's starting to get it. And if you go bowling, that's a big deal. So, you know, Neil Brown, great coach at Troy, coached under Hal Mummy at Kentucky, was a wide receiver at Kentucky, was in the Arena League for a while. A really good guy. If you meet him in person, he's always going to be at the Senior Bowl. And I hope that Neil Brown, I hope he can beat Kansas on the road in Lawrence next week. It's going to be Senior Day. It ain't going to be easy, whether it's Jason Bean or Jaden Daniels. So, oh my God. West Virginia is so good. But tomorrow we got Eagles Saints. Might be headed out there tomorrow. I don't like the Eagles really at all. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, though. Austin, welcome into the show, man. I mean, you're splitting hairs. I mean, because, you know, CJ is taller, so he's the bigger pocket passing quarterback. Bryce, the only thing you can point to is his height, but, you know, he just is a better passer than just about any quarterback at the college level. I mean, he has more arm strength than Tua. The throw to Jamison Williams is one of the best throws you're ever going to see. And CJ Stroud has better weapons around him and a better offensive coach. I mean, who's a better offensive coach, Bill O'Brien or Ryan Day? I mean, some people will argue that Bill O'Brien's a better coach, but Ryan Day's been doing this in college for a while. Stroud's also played a tough schedule in the Big Ten. But Smith-Njigba is unbelievable. I mean, Jamison Williams, it was the fourth best receiver at Ohio State. That is unbelievable to even think about, that he's at Ohio State. Julian Fleming, the number one recruit in He's the number one recruit in all of college football. He doesn't even play on this team. He's like a special teams guy. It's unbelievable. Quinn Ewers, but Bill O'Brien at Alabama. I mean, at least today he's getting the RPO game's getting better. It was between him and Adam Gase, but even Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll was even at Alabama, actually, and he had mixed reviews. I remember he didn't really run the ball. I think that he had Blake Sims. I don't know if he was there with Coker. He probably was there with Jake. They won a championship. Matt, are you a Raider guy? I mean, it's tough to get excited about the Vegas Raiders. You know, you lose John Gruden, and John Gruden's a staple for the LA Raiders. He's a staple for Oakland. You know, you imagine Chucky in the what's it called, in the what's the section of fans in the black hole, and then Chucky. You know, his image is ruined now, and nobody will think of John the same way because of those emails. And of course, they're offensive emails. I mean, I'm not going to get into whether, you know, the punishment of John and everything. I don't want to talk about that. I just want to talk about the Oakland Raiders. And you lose your emotional leader, and then you lose a bright young star. You lose the passion in the wide receiver room with Henry Ruggs. And both stories suck, man. I mean, when you think about John Gruden and Henry Ruggs, you think back to September, you know, when they beat the Ravens, and Chucky is celebrating in the black hole and he's going crazy, and the fans in Vegas. When you think about Henry Ruggs making big plays and the Raiders fans selling out the Chargers, and now you look at both of those guys are gone permanently from the franchise, it's devastating. You know, Derek Carr's going to be gone from the franchise. It's the most devastating season that I've ever seen. I don't think that we've ever had a coach get fired mid-season in the NFL for things off the field. I mean, it was the biggest NFL story, unfortunately, for the Raiders. And then the Henry Ruggs story with a wide receiver, you know, it's just tragic all around, every single story on that team. That's why I think the Bengals are going to come in tomorrow. They're off of a bye week. Joe Burrow's a pretty damn good quarterback. Jamar Chase is the rookie of the year. Mac Jones is winning a lot of games, but he's winning because of his defense. I mean, Jamar Chase put up 200 on the Ravens. Jamar Chase is the front runner for rookie of the year. He is the best wide receiver that we've had in a long time, him and Justin Jefferson. So I'm going with the damn Bengals tomorrow. I think the Raiders are done. They always fall off. Even with Gruden, they would fall off the last few seasons towards the end of the year. And the Bengals, I mean, they could try to get hot, Cincinnati. The New York Giants, my friend G-Men 409. Oh, man, I'm not feeling too good about him, unfortunately, man. I mean, Kenny Galladay's been so disappointing. I expected Kenny. I don't know why. I guess he always has been hurt, right? So why did I expect him to play a full year? Leonard Williams is an overpaid defensive lineman. You know, Dave Gettleman's going to get fired. Saquon Barkley has never been the generational back because we've never gotten guys to block, and Saquon always gets injured as well. And it's so damn sad, man. And Daniel Jones, he has a very weak arm. Very, very weak. He's a complete liability. He's getting outplayed by everybody in the division. Even Heineke completes more deep passes than Daniel Jones. And I guess you could say that Heineke is better personnel. But Daniel Jones, just the way he steps into his throws, he doesn't throw with authority. The red zone offense is not good. The red zone offense sucks. That's where your quarterback makes money. Can you score touchdowns in the red zone? And can you win? And that's what I really care about. You're looking at Matthew Stafford. He has a big arm, right? He has a rocket arm. He makes every type of throw. Jimmy Garoppolo absolutely outplayed Matthew Stafford on Monday night. And Jimmy Garoppolo does not have the same deep ball as Matthew Stafford. But who wins games? It's Jimmy G. Tight window throws, red zone efficiency, hitting guys in stride, knowing the game, studying it, leadership, intangible stuff that like guys like Stafford don't have. Woo! LeVar Ball, man, good to see you. Cowboys and Chiefs. I got Dallas tomorrow. I think it's going to be like New England again. This is the same year when Dak was in 2016, and they got their asses kicked by Aaron Rodgers in that game. First half, I think the Cowboys in the first half had one of the worst halves I've ever seen them play in 2016 when Dak was a rookie. Dak hasn't been this good since he's been a rookie. All right, let's just cut it that way. He got hurt last year. He was up and down. He's finally having an amazing season. Like, this is the best that Dak is ever going to be is this year. He's an MVP type guy. Do you really think Dak's going to be a top 3 quarterback? He's proven to be like a top 8 quarterback. He's playing out of his mind. He should be one of the most improved players. Yeah, he had a few good games last year, but we were comparing him to Carson Wentz. Dak Prescott is just, it's unfortunate for people who don't like the Dallas Cowboys, but Mike McCarthy has somehow gotten Dan Quinn the blitz a lot. And Mike McCarthy, he might be the coach of the year. I mean, I've never seen the Cowboys defense this good under a head coach in Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's won a Super Bowl before. Everybody just thinks it's Kellen Moore, and it could be. It could be Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn, but it's frustrating, man. They've gotten hot, and they're playing so well right now. But Mahomes is balling too. I mean, Patrick, like, I'm loving the offense that the Kansas City Chiefs are running right now. I am so excited about the Kansas City Chiefs offense. And they're finally starting to roll with Travis Kelce. And they're starting to roll with all their skill guys. So, Steeler Nation, how you doing? Listen, if I'm the Steelers, man, you got to go after Desmond Ridder. He's from Cincinnati. He has more talent than Kenny Pickett doesn't have a lot of talent. The guy is a backup quarterback. You know, he's like Ryan Finley. He has decent height. The hand size is not there. He has to use gloves. You watch Kenny Pickett's college career, it was totally mediocre and blah. I mean, he's playing a weak ACC schedule. You know, the guy does not have next level arm strength. I mean, Sam Howell totally outdueled Kenny Pickett. I mean, Kenny Pickett's he's a 5th round guy. I'm sorry to say this. Kenny Pickett's a New Jersey guy. You know, Kenny Pickett's one of the cooler guys you're ever going to meet. You know, he's a nice guy. He loves drinking beer after games. He's got the long hair. At the same time, Kenny Pickett is not going to be. I mean, I would love Kenny Pickett to be good and this video to look idiotic. But if Kenny Pickett's a franchise quarterback that's balling, that gets into a second contract, I would be stunned. I would be totally stunned. Carson Strong, I've loved Carson Strong for a really long time. I'm really worried about his lack of mobility. I mean, the knee injuries are just really adding up for Carson Strong. He's more of a risk. I think Desmond Ridder is probably the safest quarterback you can take. I mean, because I think Ritter's going to play at a decent level. Malik Willis and Strong are real kind of wild card quarterbacks. You know, Will Levis will probably get into the 5th round, just like Jacob Eason. But is Will Levis, the decision-making of Levis, maybe he doesn't have weapons, but he's just not a quick enough decision maker, Will Levis. But he has the talent. Next year's draft is so much better. I would take Peyton Thorne as my number 1 quarterback this year if Peyton Thorne was eligible. If Cade McNamara comes out, you take him in the 4th round because he'll win you a lot of games. He's just like Jimmy Garoppolo. Malik Willis is smaller. He's played poor the last couple of games, poor decision-making, and really small. Now, he has really good arm strength. You probably sit him a year. You teach him how to really manipulate these defenses because Hugh Freeze's offense, it's only like 7 plays. But Malik Willis is I mean, you're right. Like, he can run the ball. He's such a big guy, and he can make all the throws. The talent of Malik Willis, the way he can turn and contort his body. If you're a coach, you want a Malik Willis. So you're absolutely right. He's going to have an incredible pro day. You know, at Liberty, maybe he doesn't have the NFL talent. I know that that's true. But at the same time, Austin, you know, Malik Willis, you know, was making a lot of mistakes. Like, who's a better college quarterback? Was it Jake Fromm or Justin Fields? Now, Fields was amazing at Ohio State, but sometimes college is a totally different sport. I'm not the biggest Corral fan. I think that he's small out there on the field. I think that I know he's playing with an injury right now. Is he going to again lead? You know, this is a guy, he has matured a lot in the last couple of years. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan on Matt Corral. I'm just not. I think he's going to throw a lot of interceptions at the NFL. He has Lane Kiffin. I like Malik Willis more. I'm not confident about Matt Corral. I'm just not. He does have really good arm strength. It's kind of a quirky release, but he plays really small. I mean, his passes are going to get batted down a lot. He's barely 6'1.5", and he doesn't have the body, the thick frame that Malik Willis has. All right, so I don't like the delivery. I don't like the release. Now, he does play an aggressive brand of football, right? But is he going to be that consistent quarterback, you know, that's going to lead your team like a Malik Willis is really a leader? So, I mean, we have to see if Corral can lead. I mean, again, he was splitting time with Reese Plumlee a couple years ago. You know, he when he was a recruit, you know, he was flirting with Florida and Ole Miss. And Lane Kiffin's done it, and Corral has done a great job. And he's probably a second-round pick, and he's one of the better quarterbacks in college. Is that going to translate, though? You know, you have Jeff Lebby in that hurry-up offense. Austin, you're right. And Zach Wilson, man, Zach Wilson needs to start hitting checkdowns. By the way, the Jets, the reason they bench Mike White, they're scared of Mike White. Because if Mike White has a big game, then Zach Wilson is totally screwed. Because then you got this younger guy that overtakes the city, you know? You put Joe Flacco in it, nobody's going to get excited about Joe Flacco. That's why Mike White, he's a threat. The season's over. You cut Mike White. Just like Cam Newton was too good of a backup. You want Brian Hoyer, who sucks and who's no controversy. Mike White is controversial. So I'm telling you guys, that's what's going on with the New York Jets. Spencer Rattler, man, was, I guess I contradict myself, right? Because I said that Corral was immature, but everybody knows about Spencer Rattler in that show. So everybody's going to have biases. Like, everybody hates Spencer Rattler. And when everybody hates a kid, you know, I think that Spencer Rattler somehow was like Kobe Bryant. He was somehow like the villain. He's somehow like himself. And like, everybody hated Rattler. So it was just so much fun to like just be that contrarian Spencer Rattler. I've never met Rattler, but like, everybody just dogged on that kid because he had a show in high school. And the fact is, like, come on, like, what are we going to discourage people from having shows in high school? Pitt Panthers, I don't know. I mean, you better hope that you play Wake Forest, because Clemson is still the best team. Clemson's still the best team in the ACC. I mean, the Clemson Tigers, Dabo Swinney, I mean, what they're doing down in Clemson is incredible. I mean, Clemson's back. All right. Like, Clemson will get transfers next year. They're going to shoot up into like the top 12, you know, next year. But geez, let's do a little NFL, you know, a little NFL. I'll give you my picks. We'll stay on here for about 10 minutes. Wow. Timmy Boyle's going to start over David Blau. Wow. Colt McCoy tomorrow. That's not a surprise. The Seahawks should lose tomorrow, or the Seahawks should beat Arizona. But I like Tim Boyle a lot. I mean, Tim can't move at all, but you know, Tim's arm strength is fun. Jared Goff has no arm strength, and Tim Boyle at least can spin that ball. Timmy Boyle. Tim Boyle. I like Tim Boyle, and I love Dan Campbell calling plays. I love Dan Campbell calling plays for Tim Boyle. It's a shame. I want to watch that game. I might have to go to the Eagles game. You don't get to watch any games when you're at a football NFL game. It's all right, though. I watch so much college that my eyes are just – I got a headache because I watched too much TV today, just so unproductive. So I'm going to have to watch all this back on Game Pass tomorrow. But I'm excited, man. I want to see Jimmy Garoppolo go down to Jacksonville. I want the 49ers to make a run. I want Miami to make a run. Miami's got to beat the Jets, get to 4-7. I want Miami to get back to 500 here. Get back in the mix. Tomorrow's going to be a tough game for the Steelers. I mean, you guys barely beat Chicago. Against the Lions, the Steelers you guys were a mess. You did beat Cleveland. But I know you're going to have a home field tomorrow, but geez, I don't see it. I really don't see it, man. They just have so much more firepower on offense than you guys. I mean, Najee Harris, that run game is not really working at all. It's really frustrating. Big Ben just, hasn't been consistent moving the ball. Of course, this is last year. Oh my God. But at least you guys are still winning. It's unbelievable. I guess that's a testament to Tomlin, but it's so crazy how you guys are still winning these games. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm excited, man, about, New England. I think they can beat Tennessee and Tannehill. They got 8 days. It's a home game. Going to Buffalo on Monday. It's going to be really cold. Then they got the Colts indoors after a bye. They can win that game. Then you got to beat Buffalo. Then you go to Jackson. Then I don't know if the Jags games is on the road too. But you got to beat the Jags. And then the Dolphins last week of the year. Like, you should go 5-1 during that stretch, unless you lose to Buffalo twice. And what are you going to lose to the Colts? Or you're going to let Ryan Tannehill come into your building and beat you again? I don't know. But the Steelers, man, it's incredible that the Steelers have a winning record. It's one of the greatest accomplishments ever. The fact that they beat Geno Smith on a last-second kick, because their field goal kicker is one of the baddest mother effers in the league. Chris Boswell is just one of the coolest guys in the whole league. Pittsburgh, man, imagine if they won that division. But how are they going to beat the Chargers? They need Najee Harris to go nuts tomorrow. Their defense, can they keep holding? I don't know. Justin Herbert's just so good. Is Bills and Saints on Thanksgiving? Oh, that's going to be amazing. I mean, if you guys can stay up, you guys will be drinking wine, eating turkey, and turkey makes you depressed. It makes you tired as all hell. Makes you tired as shit. I'll tell you that much. But I love turkey. I love stuffing. I love gravy. I have the palate of a 3-year-old. So I'm so excited for Thanksgiving night. I remember the butt fumble game on Thanksgiving. I remember RG3 throwing those bombs and just dismantling the Cowboys. I remember the Carolina Panthers beating the Dallas Cowboys. I remember Deshaun Watson versus Matt Stafford. I remember Mitchell Trubisky, just so many bad Bears-Lions games. But that's what Thanksgiving is. That's what Thanksgiving is for those games. And the Egg Bowl is going to be that night. So I can't freaking wait, guys. The Raiders and the Cowboys, oh my God. First 3 weeks of the year, when Ruggs was there, when Gruden was there, and the Raiders were looking to make their playoff push. I mean, now this team is completely decimated and looking to get a new coach and a new wide receiver. Bears, Lions, Justin Fields, but then Bills, Saints in New Orleans. Of course, you remember Josh Allen beating the Cowboys on Thanksgiving too. But anyway, that's 35 minutes in the bank. Guys, I really had fun doing this show. Tomorrow I might have Bruce the Sports Doc on, might try to get a guest on the show. But I wanted to do some college, some NFL, talk with you guys. And it was a blast. And thank you so much for commenting. Everybody, have a great night. I will answer that question more tomorrow. And everybody, thanks for coming in the chat and hanging out.